E o Facebook também. Por favor.
Tá.
Hello, everyone. Tô comendo pão. Quem quer pão, quer pão, quer pão. E tá
Nossa.
quentinho, gostosinho, gostosinho, gostosinho. Eu! A doida da live.
É, sim, é bom. Eu gosto disso, né?
Você gosta que eu tô pagando de louca.
Doida.
Você gosta?
Como não mal.
Você...
Hey, Goondocks! How's it going, bro?
Hey, Doc! Quer pão?
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 Okay. Wait, Goondocks, did I show you? Wasn't there a cold steel I was saying that you're going to be jealous about? Oh, yeah. I got the... Wait, what was my latest cold steel? It's a dance party. Oh, yeah, shoot. Speaking of, the rest of the dance party gear.
Hey, Marcos.
Hey,
my friend.
The OSS, duh. That's right. I literally forgot till you just mentioned it now. I literally forgot that I got the OSS. I literally forgot. Oh yeah, did you order it from Amazon, or I think you were thinking about it, or something like that? Did you end up pulling the trigger on that?
Eu saio da live.
Have you looked at the OSI? Is the OSI the single-bladed one? Am I mistaken? The OSI? I mean, because, as far as I'm concerned, double-bladed is always better than single-bladed. I mean, not always. I mean, if you want to like bushcraft or camping knife, yeah, you don't want a double-bladed, but, it's always nice to have, two is better than one. Yeah, exactly. So the single, I can't decide between the OSS or OSI. Why would you want one less, why not have 100% more blade? Like, have 200% bladed versus 100% bladed? I mean, right? Oh, God, where did I even put that thing? Where are all my fixed blades? Where did I have like 5 boxes just full of fixed blades. Did I put it in my big box? Anyway, let me open this real quick. This is the Rough Rider JoBo. They're calling it the JoBo. I forgot why they're calling it the JoBo. Is it because it's a hobo pick? Is that what they call it? No, right? That's not a thing, is it? Is that a thing? Wow, you know what? Just this packaging alone, it's almost like they laminated it. That's kind of a trip. I'd almost rather... Oh my gosh, that is crazy. All right, let me pull out the official knife. Okay, let me go. Oh wait, hold on. Have you looked at the...
Diminui minha tela.
Look at the OSI. Can't decide. Yes, single-bladed. Oh, okay. I don't know if you want me to put that on blast. Then, in which case, I mean, get the OSI then. Why not? I don't think... Okay, think of it this way. If you get the OSI, will it drive you nuts that you could have had the double-bladed because, of course, we like the double-bladed better? Or is it going to give you peace of mind to think like, hey, I still was able to get the OSS, but because, because of legal, constraints. I want to, which is why they offer the OSI at all, right? They offer the OSI because tons of states have laws against double-edged. So, is it going to bother you? Like, is it going to knot you? Like, this is meant to be a double edge. This is meant to, I'd rather have this as double edge. If it's kind of one of those things, or if it's like, I just want a sub hilt, I want a sweet stabby sub hilt OSI. If that is sufficient, then go with that. That way it's also legal. But if it's gonna knot you, like, oh my God, I so much would rather have, like, for me, I don't have a ton of double-edged knives. Manufacturers tend not to just even offer them much because, again, it constrains their sales. So they tend not to even do it much anyway. So when I do get one, it gives me like the chuckles. Like, I just want to sit there and go, ki. I love it. Ki. I wish I could. É faca, sobre o felicidade da faca.
Sim. É um kikiki pra lá. Amor, diminui minha câmera. Eu quero comer. Eu quero comer. Eu tô morrendo de fome. O resto do pessoal só tá tendo uma live? Deve estar tendo outra live.
Tem outra live?
Não sei, não tem quase ninguém aqui. O seu YouTube também não avisa. Para mim não chega a notificação que a gente está em live.
Só duas pessoas?
Só 2 pessoas. É o que está aparecendo aqui. Aí você não arrumou nada.
O quê?
Você está procurando. Nossa, meu cabelo tá só o óleo. Cadê o povo? Deixa eu conversar aqui. Adventure Hollywood. Yes, Marcos. Nada pronto.
Okay, so I did remember where it was. It was with all my other cold steels, which is a smart thing to do. I wasn't expecting for me to have done something that logical. I know if I got the OSI, I'd still Jones for the OSS. Yep. I agree. On an adventure. Yep. Make sure you take a Okay, so hey, Snuzz. So
hey, no.
Here's Goondogs. Here's what I think. Is it because you want to actually EDC it? Because honestly, this gives me the feels. I mean, you cannot believe that point. Hold on, let me see if I can. I mean,
amor, diminui. Isso, obrigada.
Vou comer. Oh, wait. This is not on. Why is this not on? Turn on. Okay. Let's see. Can you see that point? Let me see if I can get it close. Can you see? That point is just, I mean, it's like, please stab me. Please stab something with me. I want to stab something. Look at that. I mean, it's like a needle. It scares me just to look at it. And it's a cold steel. Cold steel doesn't play with their grinds. Yeah, you know what, dude? Don't get the OSI. Don't get the OSI because you just sometimes you're just going to want to sit here and look at it, be like, and if you look at the OSI, you're going to keep oh, well, yeah. I mean, you're going to keep thinking like, that could be sharpened right there. And I mean, it is just a nasty point. I mean, they're calling this the OSS because it's, if I'm not mistaken, this is based on the Fairburn Sykes style blade that they had, and they essentially invented commando fighting as we understand it today. I gave the little breakdown of the history of Camp X and assassination techniques and the like. If you guys want to know, by the way, you guys remember the actor Christopher Lee, who played Sauron? I believe he was one of the original Draculas way back in the black and white days. The with the booming voice. That motherfucker was a commando, okay? In World War II, okay? Like legit fucking British fucking commando, OG fucking assassination techniques. And apparently on the set of Lord of the Rings, he would drop shit like, when you stab someone in the neck, it doesn't actually sound like that. Shit like that. Like, I guess he was pointing out like how, I'm afraid to do this, but like he was pointing out like how that assassination thing, when they do in the movies, and you come up behind him and you just, I mean, that was the fucking shit they were doing with these things. Just, I don't know if you guys know some of the missions they went on, but they sabotaged a major harbor. Several hundred British commandos, I think U.S. and British commandos, I think, went out there and took out like a major, I think, submarine. It's like one of the last major like submarine fixed bay type things. Oh yeah, and you guys got to look this up. And they fucking they kamikaze the fucking thing. They part of the plan, and I believe they succeeded, was they literally crashed the fucking boat into the dock, into the wet dock, to disable it. And I think it was in preparation for D-Day. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm so hazy on the details, but you gotta check out some of the missions these guys went on. It was fucking gnarly. Oh my god, I gotta see this. That knife screams EDC me. I mean, honestly, I can legally, but the last fucking thing I want to do is have LAPD, pull me over and be like, what do you plan on doing with that? It's like, oh, I'm just going to carve some turkey. Like, what? Like, this is made for This is made for killing. You can't bushcraft with this fucking thing because of the subhilt. You can't choke up on it at all, right? And it's obviously sharpened, so it's not like you're bearing down on it with your thumb. I mean, this is not meant for anything but fucking, this is a pig sticker, I mean, this would be good for pig hunting, You can murk a pig.
Bernardo.
Definitely a murder stick. I need it for the apocalypse. Yeah, bro, this is zombie fucking, come on now, man. It's just so nasty. It's so nasty. You definitely do need the knife. Yeah, man. Yes, it's not a slice. They pierce through the neck, then punch it out the front of the throat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bro, LAPD don't play, man. I noticed they recruit the shit out of people. Like, they get some like big burly dudes. I think they're just scared of their clientele, because they really recruit big dudes. Like, I was I was at a 7-Eleven and one time these two dudes walked in. And the guy was a fucking monster. Guy was like fucking 6'8". I mean, he was a fucking monster. But he also looked like a supermodel. So like my friend was was sitting there drooling over him. he was like, oh, did you see that LAPD? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He apparently he has a fetish for men in uniform. So that happened. Oh, okay, yeah. Check this out. I know to a lot of people this is just laughable and a joke and everything, but believe it or not, these were on sale at Knife Center. I'll try to remember. I'll look at once I do look it up, I'll confirm. But I swear to God, I think they were selling these things for like $6. Some shit like that. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap. So I got like every time I ordered something, I just use this to fill out the rest of the cart. I figured as cheap as it was, to me, as far as I was concerned, it was enough just for this canister. I mean, I've yet to open one of these literally at all yet, but just for this kit part, like I could put my own stuff in it. Like I remember thinking, hey, I'd pay just for the case alone. But here's what comes in it. Let's see. Water resistant case, compact scout knife, waterproof matches with striker, compass, micro torch, micro torch. They mean flashlight. You know, it's like Bear Grylls, so they're going to call it a fucking torch, please. Adhesive bandages, alcohol prep pads, wound wipes, surgical sponges, mole skin, and emergency stitch. What the heck is a stitch? 12. Oh, emergency stitch. Oh, okay. Those types of bandages that keep a wound together. Essential for any survival or first aid situation. Priorities of survival. Oh, okay. The little guide thing. So anyway, here's the little sticker. Oh yeah, that's the priorities of survival thing. See back for full kit. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and box this because I have a gang of these, and I've just been so curious what it looks like. Yeah, see this? I mean, it's literally just a crappy little plastic thing, but it's more or less crush proof. I can feel definitely some flex, and whatever's inside is keeping it from flexing anymore. And then they also have Alpine rescue signals, 6 signals, pause 1 minute, repeat. Reply is 3 signals repeated. So why? Yes, need help, pick us up. No, all is well. Need mechanical help, have radio, needs medical assistance, do not attempt to land, can proceed shortly, use drop message. Ground to air distress symbols, require assistance, require medical assistance, no or negative, yes or affirmative. Oh, okay. So, I mean, I never knew any of that stuff. And I mean, to think that, like, we don't teach this stuff to, like, kids. I mean, sure, they have so much to learn. Maybe this isn't the most important thing, but I just feel like this is stuff that, like, every human should know, even though the vast majority of us will never, ever, 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 ever be in that situation. So this is purely friction. So, which means if it were to be immersed in water, maybe I'll test it. It'll eventually seep in, but I guess it's mainly meant for like being rained on, because just the sheer overlap of being basically like 95. Meu voice tá barulho, tá?
Agora me explica, o que é isso?
Isso é para sobrevivendo. Oh, wait. Speaking of the disco, hold on. Let me finish setting up my disco gear.
Boate? A discoteca? Os embalos.
Ele falou discoteca, né? Melhor? Okay. I find the trick is to smile, wave at them on their approach, and ask them a simple, dumb question that'll get them to crack a grin. That's smart. Being a prick ended me up on the ground. Talk with LAPD instead. Yeah, I totally agree. So, would you mind sharing with us some of the dumb questions that would get you a smile? Because that would be, for example, in survival scenarios and self-defense scenarios, people forget that you should always memorize at least one quick joke, because humor will break the mood. It really works. If you wouldn't mind sharing some of those, it's really important to try and memorize some sort of joke or dumb question or whatever that kind of breaks the mentality, gets you off guard, humanizes you, etc. Sounds like a good little ouch pouch. I wonder if that is impact plastic or just. I mean, no. Look, it's just plastic. As you can see, there's a lot of flex.
Yeah, Marcos.
Yeah, mainly it's. I mean, it's Gerber. They're not gonna go out of their way to give you much, but it's the contents inside that keep it stiff. So here we go. Here's the big reveal, and I love it. I just want to show you, see the picture there? Doesn't that look like a big full-size knife? Like, ooh, we're gonna give you a whole knife in this kit. Okay, just so you can see, like, like, it's so tiny, it's cute. But what is interesting about this is what you're getting with this knife is one of the things that actually made Gerber, I don't know if it's famous, but Gerber put out, I think it's the Gerber LST or something like that. I think it's the number one most selling knife in the world. I think they sold 1 million of these, I think. Cheap plastic lockback, but yeah, with a rivet also, but rivets were standard back then. And I think this was probably like the early 80s where they came out with the LST, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, and it's still in production. They still make it. So, they sold 1 million of these, and this is probably more or less similar, if not literally the same thing, It's a 3-finger lockback. It's got jimping on the back. This is a knife, guys. I guarantee you in a survival situation, I'd fucking way rather have this than not. This is way more than enough knife to get you to survive for a few days before you get rescued. I mean, it's got great jimping. I mean, it's sharpened, and I'm sure it's probably 420 HC or 440A or something like that. It's obviously partially serrated, but in a survival situation, you might want that for cutting cordage and such. I mean, it's got decent action. Okay. Well, it's got 0 centering. Look at that. Wow. Is that bad? And yes, definitely, what do you call that? Blade lash? I mean, lockup, there's no movement, but there's definitely side to side here. And yeah, that is hideously bad centering. It's almost rubbing, if not slightly rubbing. Okay, and then their little micro torch. Okay.
Olha, que legal.
Oh, hold on. Look it. There's press once for on and then flashing. I mean, I've never had one of these mini, ultra mini lights, but I don't know if that's standard, but the fact that you can go once on and then to that, Yeah, it's got a high, low, flash. Again, in a survival situation, that's enough lights to get what you need, to get noticed, to get seen. So they say that in complete darkness, the human eye can see a candle flame from 7 miles away. You don't need a lot of fucking light, okay, to be found. And the key to this kind of thing is to be found. I mean, right? I mean, literally, you're just trying to get found, nothing else. You're not trying to fucking build it. Well, yeah, definitely build a shelter. But anyway, okay, let's see here. Oh, hey. So there's your compass.
Oh, yay, yo.
Holy shit, it works. What the fuck? I mean, good on Gerber, because I've gotten a lot of little, shitty little compasses, and almost none of them work. I mean, almost none of my little crappy compasses that come with like my survival knives and all that work. But at least Gerber bothered to get a compass that actually works. I'm going to give him credit for that. That is fucking pointing north. Okay. Right? Yep. Look at that. Look. Yep. Let's see. Yep. It's actually working. It's actually working. I swear to God, this works. I'm telling you guys, I am impressed. This is this the gauze? Is this moleskin? I'm not sure. Here's the striker, and the waterproof matches with the striker. Here is the priorities of survival, and it looks like inside there are the, what do they call that? The emergency essentials for any survival. Oh no, wait. Okay, pocket. Okay, it's just the essentials of survival. Anyway, we've seen this a million times. I'm not gonna undo the Scotch tape because that's what gets it to fit in here perfectly. This is the moleskin, nice and fuzzy. So there's a couple things of moleskin, antiseptic swab, alcohol pad. Oh, here it is. Here's the butterfly closure. So there, that's what they meant by cross stitch. And some bandages. And, a lot of people call these boo-boo kits. I think it's important to realize that a boo-boo in a survival situation, if it gets infected, a little tiny thing can fucking kill you. No joke, right? Like, will literally fucking kill you. So, don't take it lightly. I've told this story many times before, but Calvin Coolidge in the 1920s, when he was president of the United States, his son was playing football on the White House lawn, and he got a blood blister. And a week later, he was fucking dead. He went septic and died. This was in the days before antibiotics. So the president of the United States could not save his own son from dying of infection. You figure they had the best doctors around at the time, and it's no joke. Infection is very serious. So yeah. So I'm putting this back together. See if I can kind of remember how it went. I think that was everything. Let's see how well it goes in. Oh, I know. Put one of the moleskin on the outside to help keep the whole thing together. Probably help. Battery saver mode. Hold on. Just about there. Anyway, more or less just about there. Oh, I see. So that's how it has to go in this way, with this off to the side so that the lock back can fit in there and this can fit right there. So there we go. I mean, if you paid full price for this, yeah, it's probably not worth it. But getting it as, you know, discounted as I did, that's pretty cool to stick in your car and in your go bag. And hell, you could EDC that. Why not? Actually, that wouldn't be the worst EDC. That means that gives you first aid. That gives you, right? It's going to give you some first aid capabilities, a backup to a backup to a backup to a backup knife. You know? Yeah. I'm not mad, especially because I got it like super discounted. So let me catch up. Okay. Oh, really? I mean, the Gerber Gator, I still have that. Oops. É, desculpa. Para muito tempo você não era lá? Muito
Sim,
tempo?
eu disse para você no chat que eu caí.
Yeah, I have the Gerber Gator too. I actually won this from the Matt Rose channel, and it's still well regarded. I would say it's probably overpriced, but it's made in Portland, super ergonomic, you know, nasty little grind. I mean, 420 HC when done properly is pretty good. It's got good action. It's almost flickable with that. I'm gonna pull that little brass thing off. Just realized I'm gonna so this is the quick stud. So this is how easy, and it's a standard wrench size. I don't know which, does it say here which it is? Hex wrench. It's the includes 1/16 hex key wrench. Okay, so I couldn't find this, and I have my own wrench set, so I was actually able to take these on and off. So righty tighty lefty loosey. Okay, I can't figure out which one. Righty tighty lefty loosey. So okay, yeah, good. I am going to take my, if I could find it. What the heck did I do with it? I have my Kaiser swayback out because I'm going to swap the thumb stud on it. And I can't find it. I'm probably sitting on it, for goodness sakes. I literally had it right here. Well, I found my 20.5. Yeah. What the heck did I do with it? Okay, so I'll have to find it later. Sorry. Sure, that was a lot of fun to watch. Because otherwise, yeah, see, the silver doesn't look right on the Mordax. I think it would look better on the brown micarta Kaiser Swayback, the Swags knife. What the heck did I do with it? That is so random.
Ai, tô morrendo.
Morrendo de sonho?
De tédio. Não, de tédio, porque tá chato. Cadê? Eu sinto falta da música. Você não bota mais.
Gerber sounds like a fancy mayonnaise. Grebs? Gerber. Fancy mayo. Okay, let's see. Working compass in the little set. I'm impressed. Button compasses suck. They are always crap and broken. Yeah, I've yet to have any luck with those button compasses. Although there is a button compass that comes from Japan, that's reliable. I wish I could tell you which. I'm sure you could just Google it.
Eu acho esse nome engraçado. A vontade de rir.
Do you have any cold steel drop forge axes? No, I didn't even know of it. Did I know of it? I don't think I've heard of it. Drop forge axe? No, I just have the drop forge survivalist, and I thought I had one other. Did they have a drop forge something small? I can't remember. I agree 100%. A solid ouch pouch is a necessity, is a necessary carry. Yeah, I thanks. I agree. Oops, I went all the way up. I'm not Hollywood, but I have a custom etched cold steel axe. They are awesome. I don't understand. Oh, you're not Hollywood, but you have a custom etched cold steel axe. You mean on the wood handle? Like, what do you call that? When they burn something in there? You mean that? Not scrimshaw, but maybe it is. That called scrimshaw as well if it's on wood? Or scrimshaw only on bone? I actually picked up that marbles mini. Yeah.
Cadê? Pega lá. Me gusta.
Guys, tell me this does not give you the feels. Tell me this does not give you the feels. I'm almost positive if you tried to use it, this would probably break. But yeah, it's actually pretty sharp too. Yeah, it's actually pretty sharp. I mean, for $15, for the price of a breakfast at a diner here in LA, that gives me the smiles every time I look at it. I even carried it in my car for a long time, just for the heck of it, like just because it's funny. I don't know. And I mean, it's got like a nice little leather pouch. I mean, no belt loop, so you can't EDC it, unfortunately. Did you? No. Yeah, I can't believe I was actually going. It's right here. It's called the Syrinx. The Syrinx blue. Can't believe you remembered that. Here it is. Sunto. Okay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Best button, probably Suntos. Okay, so thanks for pointing that out. Oh, cool. I have 2 of the Axe Gang X's from Cold Steel. They are sweet. Getting some of the other models soon. I can't. What do you have 2 because you want to be like Axe Gang, like double fisted? Because I've been eyeing that Axe Gang axe forever. I grew up on those Axe Gang movies. FYI, so the Axe Gang, was a real gang in Shanghai in the 20s and 30s, right up until the war. And yeah, I mean, they were a real thing. They did carry those axes, and it became popular in the movies forever. And honestly, that scared the shit out of me as a kid. Just seeing a bunch of gangsters with axes, like, I was like, that shit is cold blooded. Like, I remember just being, I was way too young to be watching those movies. Yep. Put it in my Max Fiction fatty pack in my car. Did you really? I mean, at the very least, because it's an axe and because it's an actual convex grind, as you can, if you can see that.
I'm over no banheiro.
At the very least, you can feather stick with this. I mean, it's not totally useless if you think about it. You can feather stick with it. You can notch with it. You can do a lot of things that you might, if you want to save the edge on your survival blade. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with that. You could delimb with it. All kinds of stuff. So, you know, if you put it in your fatty Maxpedition pack, you know, it's actually not a dumb, it's not useless weight. It's not, it doesn't weigh that much. Where'd I put my scale? It was like just here from the last broadcast. Where did I put? Oh, I know where it is. It's right here. Okay, so let's see. It's not exactly even here, but let's see if we can get it to work. Okay. So without the sheath, well, let's just weigh the sheath alone. Let's see if it has much weight to it at all. 15 grams, 0.5 ounces. Wow, that's kind of a lot. So altogether, it's 3 1/4 ounces. 2.7. Yeah. So 3 1/4 ounces. I mean, it's the equivalent of a relatively light GRN pocket knife. So that'll get you as much use as a pocket knife would, you know, especially because most of our pocket knives, and basically none of them are convex. I don't think there exists a convex grind pocket knife. Maybe customs, I don't know. Maybe super duper high end. But at most, you've got your Finbear, which is Scandi. Otherwise, it's going to be a full flat at best. Otherwise, for good reason, all pocket knives are hollow ground. You know, for good reason. They should be. You know, because you want to slice well. You don't need a convex grind pocket knife, you know, because that's not your typical survival scenario. And that's a convex grind. So, yeah, I say, why not? So tell me, is it correct that 3.5? Well, so this weighs as much as the 80-20. It doesn't seem like it. Boy, it really does not seem like it. Yeah. This seems heavier than the 20.5, but it's not. That's weird. And what's our official unboxing knife? 3.4. So even this weighs more than this. Doesn't feel like it at all. I know, right? Can you imagine the sheer terror? Look at this. Axing them questions. Yeah. Some of mine end up convex. You mean because you hand sharpen them, you know? Well, yeah, if you have a full flat or a Scandi or some sort of saber grind on your pocket knife, if you were to hand sharpen them, yeah, you could convex them. Works good for light hammering. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. No, sorry, I didn't notice that. That's 100% a hammer. and how many times do we end up hammering with some bullshit like a fucking flashlight or the butt end of our knife and wrecks the shit out of everything? How often?
É o quê? Martelo?
We almost never carry around a hammer or a good hammer. Like I try using like multi-tools to hammer and they just never work right. They never, very few things have a perfectly flat edge to properly be able to hammer. And that absolutely would work.
A moça está falando que é o quê? É martelo?
Isso é machado, mas pode usado de martelo. Olha.
É, para pregos pequenos, né?
É pequeno, sim.
É muito fofo.
One thing I don't have. One thing I don't have is a tiny axe. Do they make a double-bladed version? No. I mean, not marbles anyway. This is the only mini axe they make that I've seen. Oh, by the way, here it is. It's MR465 if you want to look that up. MR465. I strongly suspect, I'm sure you're probably just joking, but I strongly suspect for a mini axe, it wouldn't make much sense to double blade it because the last thing you're going to do is heavy use this. So it would certainly make more sense. Like who was pointing out that it would make a good hammer. I bet you this would be more used as a hammer than this would be used as a proper edge. Right? Wouldn't that make sense? That's what I think. I might be sounding a little too Mr. Obvious, but you could strike a fire steel with it too if you needed, right? So there's that. Convex on your pen blades and never worry about resharpening them again. Really? Mind you, pen blades don't see much use, just pencil sharpening, etc. Still, I convex mine and forget about them. Wow. Hey, I would have never imagined. So cool. So you're talking about like on your Victorinox, the small pen blade. You convex them so that you don't have to worry, and you don't need them to be slicey, and the edge will last forever. Right? That's one of the things that convexes do is it strengthens the edge for obvious reasons of geometry. So yeah, again, it's less slicey, but it is going to definitely improve its edge retention. It's going to keep its edge way, way, way longer because the apex will be much less fine and much more robust. It's going to have way more material behind it, etc. So makes sense to me, yeah. And then keep your spear point on your Victorinox, or not just Victorinox, but your slip joint. Keep it. It's usually full flat, right? Okay, I believe we're charging again. That would be a coal thrower if double blade. Oh yeah, that's true. Like little mini throwing axes. Let me see. Do they have mini throwing axes? They have like medium-sized throwing axes. It might be, but if you just grip it like a drumstick and give it that kind of thing, sure, you're not going to get any heavy hammering, but you wouldn't want to because that wood there is thin. But you can hammer in nails, and remember that in physics, force equals mass times acceleration, right? So let me see if I can do this. So force equals mass times acceleration. Okay. So hammers typically rely on the mass meaning what we call weight, but actually weight is actually a force measurement because anyway.
That's easy.
But because it doesn't have much mass, because it's not very heavy, if you can get some good acceleration, some snap, you could actually dramatically increase. That's why I say hold it like, like that and get some nice spring. And yeah, you'll start to get some decent power out of it by increasing the acceleration. So that would be an interesting experiment. But at any rate, that's just plain physics. Yeah, it's not going to have your typical weight that a hammer has, but by increasing the acceleration and the snap of it, right, like a whip, right, you're trying to get as much wrist motion as such things go. I'm going to unbox this real quick because, once again, these were on sale at Smoky Mountain Knife Works at SMKW. Once again, I think it were like $6. Dirt cheap. Every single time I made an order, I got another one and another one and another one. It was only this purple one that was on sale. The other, it's normally like $20, which to me is a little bit overpriced, like, because Gerber doesn't make the best gear. I feel like some of their stuff tends to be a bit overpriced, but I've already given this, and I got these specifically to give to people because people can always use a multi-tool, especially if it has, a decent tool set in it. So, ironically, I got this thing from Stat Gear, this Kydex sheath for either the Gerber dime or the Leatherman squirt. And of course, the Leatherman squirt is even more than the full price dime. So I'm just, it's beyond my budget. I'm just not going to pay that much for a mini multi-tool. This has served me well thus far, has not given me any issues thus far. And it's got little tweezers here, which have a pretty decent little point. So it's not the worst. And it has this sort of odd, like, oh yeah, the package opener. I keep forgetting the package opener. I'm going to start using that more. Anyway, I'm going to start using it for this stuff. Save my unboxing knife its edge. And I can't remember. I think it might be someone on the chat now said that this thing broke the first day. I've had good luck thus far. It hasn't broken on me yet. And the retention is good. So I've been using this, I've been EDCing this. And again, I gave it away. So I'm going to have to, I had to open up another one. So I think I'm down to like 2 more or less. I don't know. And then we've got a quick comparison here. The Gerber Slice and the SOG Crosscut. It looks like this is much thinner. It's got file, knife, tweezers, toothpick, bottle opener, screwdriver. Let's see, bottle opener, screwdriver, file. Blade. Does this have a? Yeah, it has a blade as well. So, okay, so it looks like the Gerber has a serrated blade as well, and that might be the only difference. Looks like this is 420HC. They don't mention it on here, so this is probably not even that. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to open this thing too. Oh, let me use the package opener. Let's see how that works. I like the science lesson. You know, the thing is, once again, when you're in a survival situation, when you're in a survival situation, you see how that kind of knowledge can come in handy, because, you know, if you're needing to increase force, like knowledge about levers, how to increase force, right? I don't think they are anymore. I haven't seen it. I think they sold out of them. Did I hear $6? Yeah, that makes a damn fine gift at 6 shekels. I totally agree. Cruise me some of the sales, the knife sides. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. $6, like I said, they're normally 20. If I'm not mistaken. Hey, my mistake. They are drop forged tomahawks, not axes. Okay. Drop forged tomahawk.
Vou fazer uma cara engraçada.
Do it. Those sales add up. Oh, yeah. Don't you know it? Boy, oh boy. Those sales definitely add up. But yeah, I mean, I always did used to pre-buy gifts anyway, because I'm rarely prepared enough. And how often do we like end up like, oh my God, it's your birthday, you know? Oh, this thing. Okay, so here's the thing with Rough Rider. They polish their micarta, and I like rough micarta. I wish they didn't polish it, but it is supposed to be somewhat considered nicer to have polished micarta. But again, personally, I just don't like it. Now, I got one of these, even though I don't have that many traditionals, but I'm glad I did, because my fingernails are not strong enough for this can opener. So, well, that works friggin' great. So there we go. It's funny, the pry bar side seems to work better. Yeah, that back spring's pretty tough. Funny, why does the pry bar side seem to work better? Oh, never mind. Anyway, so that's what this is for, but it's also just a pry bar. And that's supposed to be a lanyard hole, so you can put it on your keychain. I mean, I might put that in like my EDC kit, actually, to be honest. As a matter of fact, I think I will.
O que é isso que você está segurando?
Para facas como assim, e para aberto quando, como se diz essa coisa no dedo? Como se diz isso?
Pele?
Para coçar.
Ah, tá. Pele.
Fala o palavra.
Pele. É. Unha. Unha.
Pele como assim?
Unha.
Idiota. Quando unha não forte,
grande.
suficiente.
Unha grande. Sim.
É por isso, entendeu?
Entendi.
Para abrir. Entendeu?
Aham. Ah, é igual um cortador de unha daqui de casa.
Olha. Como assim?
Sim. Mas aí você precisa de um negócio para poder abrir. É por isso que eu não gosto desse tipo de faca. Você precisa de um suporte para abrir. É horrível.
Mas isso é tradicional.
Eu sei, tem aqui no Brasil.
Isso é super moderno. É super moderno.
Mas só para abrir a faca. Ah, não. Sim. Só para abrir a faca, mas e as outras coisas? Precisa de suporte. Você não consegue abrir sozinho. Machuca o dedo.
Is that where you scored that schnazzy crab? You mean the crab that was in the ga? What was that thing? I want one. Yeah, where did you get that anyway? Amazon is. Oh, you got it on Amazon. I need to get another crab for God. The world needs crabs. Amazon is a great place to get knives. Yeah, I mean, it's Cold Steel is dirt cheap there. Now I feel like I will go ahead and get me a Amazon. Seriously saving my pennies. I think I need a Rockstead shoe in my life. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, you can buy like 50 knives for what you get a Rockstead for, you know? Anyone here have any knives from Dagger? If so, a penny for your thoughts. Tell me who Dagger is. I don't know that I've heard of it. I'm loving on that Rough Rider knife opener. I may pick one up. I need something to replace a brass Kiridashi I have that's becoming dangerous. To replace? Wait, but it's not. It's just a pry bar and a knife pick. So this is version 2. This is Gen 2. The original knife pick was just a knife pick with amber bone handle. This is version 2 that has the micarta and a pry bar and a lanyard hole. Some people like the first knife pick better. They feel like it opens the traditionals better. I don't know. I don't think I bought that one. If you're talking about this is a marbles. This is a nautical knife with the marlin spike and a big ass partially serrated sheep's foot, shackle key, and can opener with a bail, and with standard inches and metric on the back. And I use this knife so much because I use the can opener and the marlin spike like crazy. So there's that. And
Amor, o cabo dela é metal? O cabo?
Isso, sim, é tudo inox.
Ah, inox. Ah, é massa, é bom para praia. Não enferruja.
Sim, é para mar. Isso se chama o faca de nautical?
Isso, náutica.
Náutico, sim. Se chama. Era de marinheiros, né?
Ah,
Isso
legal.
é para como se diz? Quando então, cordas.
Sim, anzol.
After seeing King Pope's video, I need a Rocksteady reel in my life. 1,800 bones, though, and I have like 3. I need to see who King Pope is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who the King Pope channel is. If it's a YouTube channel, I'll have to check that out. I didn't see that video. I think I should watch it since I already think I need a shoe. Good Lord. You guys, did you see the recent do you guys follow Dutch Bushcraft Knives, the DBK guys? They recently shot a Rockstead. It survived 2 shots. Well, obviously they're using air guns because guns are illegal in almost all of Western Europe. About the Kiridashi, I use it for tape and thick cardboard. I think the Rough Rider Pry may do that job. I'm not sure. I don't get it. You mean to cut tape? Or do you mean the package opener on the dime? This would be better for opening tape. And I mean, this nice sheep's foot would probably be enough to even cut cardboard boxes. I mean, you know, we need surprisingly very little sharpened blade to do most of our tasks. Yes, it will convince you. Don't be convinced. Dagger is a Russian production knife company. I feel like I know who you're talking about. You'd probably know their style if you saw one. Yeah, I think I do. Now that you mention it, I think I remember now. I want a Dagger. Last Ranger introduced me. Okay, cool. I think I've seen they are only available direct from Dagger. Okay, Blade HQ has one model left. I couldn't find anyone else carrying them. Yeah, I think I remember seeing them. I think last year is when I first heard of them. I need to look that up again. Somebody was showing their stuff. I'm kind of thrilled about this, and I am going to. Let me leave this up so I can keep my place so I don't lose track of it. So like I've got my little, this is the Maxpedition. I think it's the Mini or whatever. It's their smallest PC bag. And yeah, I think I'll put, I'm going to put this in there. Yeah. I mean, for that matter, I should. I've got the full size multi-tool in there.
Well,
you know, maybe I should start EDCing this again. I think I will. As a matter of fact. For that matter, I should stick this on there too. So this is the other thing. I did that one video on covert carry. This is one of the most ultimate covert carry. I've gotten this into so friggin' many places. It's meant to be a zipper pull knife, but I've carried it on my cell phone. I've used it so many times when I haven't really been able to pull out a knife and cut something open. Okay, should I tell this story? So I've mentioned maybe I shouldn't say this. Anyway, Lizzo, you know the singer Lizzo? I actually dated her older sister, and I used this knife when I met her I had to cut something, and I whipped that out. Not saying that's what got me in the door, but anyway, that was an interesting experience. Anyway, there's a whole story behind that one as well. Speaking of guys, if we could go easy on the mentions of my personal life on the chat, because it's causing a lot of problems. Because as you saw in the description, you know, the nature of our relationship with my co-host, you know, is definitely in its transitions. Okay, well, I nearly killed myself again there. That doesn't work that great as a package opener. And, you know, if, you know, you know, that's where some of the awkwardness comes in. If you guys mention stuff like that, and feelings get hurt, and they don't exactly get along. They do not, in fact, get along. And so I'm just, they're kind of, there's just like this constant bickering, and if you guys could keep that on the low, that would keep the feelings intact, more or less. That is one brutal. Why is this so hard to get open?
Que é isso que você tá abrindo agora?
É faca pequeno, super pequeno.
Ah, é? Legal.
I mean, I don't know what I did with my other one, because I took it off my phone for a little while, and then I put it on something else, and now I don't remember what I put it on. I hope I didn't lose it, but I ended up getting another one anyway. As you can see, I opened it because I figure I think it's overpriced, frankly. And this is why I give Gerber credit. This is one of the things I need to remember to remind people. that want to write off Gerber. Okay. If Gerber sucks so much, then why don't y'all make a blade like this? Okay. Because when you need a knife and you don't have a knife, this is you'll think this is the freaking best knife I've ever had in my life. Because, like I said, it's overpriced, but do you know of anyone that makes anything even sort of like this? It is so frigging handy when you need it. Oh, this action's way better than my first one. My first one was rough as hell. Okay, so goes to show you, I mean, yeah, the production quality is not consistent because the last one I had was just rough as all hell. This one's pretty smooth. That one was so hard to get open. So it's a good thing I got a second one anyway. So I'm going to, well, you know what? I was going to attach it to this EDC gear, but I'm going to put it back on my phone because I miss having it on my phone. It was just the best thing ever. And I'll show you how I attached it at the time. I actually looped it through here. So it releases like this. Watch.
Muito pequena.
Okay. Yeah. It's anyway. Oh well.
Amor, abre a faca.
Momento. So I just loop it through the little hole, the little slot there. I just loop it through that. And then, right, so now it stays pretty firm. And, you know, I keep this on my phone. We always have our phone on us, right? So, got to tell you. E já aberto.
Deixa eu ver. Ah, é. Nossa! Isso é para apontar lápis?
It's a Franklin. O quê?
Isso aí só dá para apontar um lápis.
Por que com lápis? Não entendo.
Lápis, apontador de lápis. Tipo estilete. Amor, é muito pequeno. Não dá para cortar nada. É muito pequeno.
Mas é super pratical. Super.
É.
Quando alguém precisa, é super. Okay, my Ryder collection all consists of cold steel products. My favorite being the triple action. Really? You like the triple action? You mean that fake wannabe legal balisong? Wait, what happened? Dude, come on, man. I don't get it. Okay, dagger. Has a spidey hole, but it's shaped like a mushroom. Oh, cool. Triple action is freaking awesome. Okay. It's sort of odd, isn't it? That's a handy tool when fishing. Really cool. Do you have the Gerber line? If you go fishing a lot, yeah, and Goondocks goes fishing a lot too. Do you have the Gerber line? What is it called? It's over there. It's like a fishing line maintenance tool or something. It like clips and everything. That simple is great. The only thing is I wish Gerber didn't brand every single thing they make. It would be nice if they could set the ego aside and just give us a flat colored pole. Indeed. But to us knife nerds, it's geeky and whatnot. But to the non-knife person, Gerber, for better or for worse, is still the biggest name in pocket knives. So to everybody else, like, ooh, it's a Gerber? Really? Wow. Must be good, you know? Like, hey, do you have a knife? Yeah, I have a good one. I have a Gerber. Like, it's awkward, I'll tell you. Like, because I, you know, like a friend of mine, he's a producer on American Horror Story, right? And we went to a barbecue at his house, and I was like, hey, you know, Carlos, I'm like, you know, do you want a pocket knife? I was gonna, you know, give him a pocket knife. He's like, ah, he's like, I've got enough. He's like, I pick them up, like people like leave them behind at his work all the time. So he's like, I have a bunch. I was like, oh really? I was like, do you have any good ones? He's like, yeah, I got some good ones. I got a Gerber. I was like, okay. Oh well. Did someone say fishing? Yeah, well, you guys got to check out Goondogs' channel. Like, he's got the most awesome lure videos. Like, he's got a tank and he tests them out and shows the action. Is unreal. Maybe the package opener is meant for non-Gerber products. I think it's struggling with that one. You guys know that Gerber has the most monster clam packs, right? I mean, I'm feeling it now. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's like it's the thickest clam pack you can imagine. I mean, shit, this clam pack is more crush proof than this Scouting Essentials. I'm not kidding me. This shit right there is totally crush proof. Which, you know, I'm sure they did it on purpose so that their product wouldn't get damaged in shipping, you know. That is stiff as nuts. It is very thick indeed. Yeah, see, look. Compare the clam pack on this with the SOG. This is like very flimsy and thin. This is just thick as nuts. I mean, anyway. Indeed. We makes one. I want to say that Almar makes a similar one as well. It may be that Boker and Condor make a similar too. I'm sick and I'm a bit foggy tonight. Okay, well, hopefully you feel better. Check out Yin Chow, YINCHIAO. It's got forsythia flower in it. You should keep that on hand anytime you get sick, because it's like an antimicrobial and all that. So that might be helpful. But yeah, you mean the zipper pull? Because I have the Almar. I have the Almar Stinger. Oops. Here we go. It's here somewhere. What did I do with it? It's here somewhere. Okay, well, it's here somewhere. The Stinger is the Kershaw originally made one of the versions of his Stinger, and I found the Microhawk. I was looking for this for the Knife Junkie, and I could not for the life of me find it. So there it is. But do you mean that they all make a version of this? Because I'd like to check that out. I've never seen it. So let's see. Oops. Okay. O-Light has that new one too. It's bigger though. Yeah. O-Light has, it's more like a keychain knife, but it's way bigger, and it's not a zipper pull knife. You know, this is a zipper pull knife. It's meant to be, you know, for your zipper pull, you know, like that, you know, that's what it's meant for your zipper. Again, this is way tinier than even your typical keychain knife. That's about the only place Gerber shines for me anymore. Fishing knives and gadgets. Yeah. That's pretty much all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're still, this formidable knife company, or I, love their knives, but like this, when it was on sale, that's a pretty good deal. Um, not everyone's making little survival kits, knife companies, that is, and again, this on sale is worth it. Obviously their stuff on sale is worth it for me, and their razor blade, the EAB, the exchanger blade system for their utility knives. I EDC'd one of those forever until, of course, I lost it. But they have the EAB Lite and the original EAB. It's just a simple holder for a utility blade, but it folds well. It works nice. I like it. Let's see. Sniper Blade Works makes the DMF. Man, I need one. The DMF, I'm not sure I know what that is. And it's supposed to be shaped like a skull, I believe. Do you mean what's supposed to be shaped like a skull? Not the Olight knife. Think about talking about the Booker thing or whatever. Nope, I could never find the line tool in stock when I was in Cabela's. Okay, yeah. They have it on all the websites, Blade HQ, SMKW. It's like, the line management tool or something like that. Gerber makes fun gadgets. They do,
Huh?
The triple action is pretty close to being a gravity knife, Hollywood. It's slick. I think maybe you're thinking about the Paradox. That's right. Wannabe Bally, Odd Mutant thing. Okay, you're right. But the triple action, that's long discontinued, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? That's like an old school. The triple action is long gone, isn't it? Tell me if it's not. And speaking of, if you guys know, do you know of any gravity knives, names, whatever, makers? Because I'm in love with the new Reat EXO, but it's $277. And I just don't want to pay that. And I'm trying to think. I only wanted to get it to fidget. I'm not going to use it. So if anyone knows of another gravity knife, that's how you weed out all 9 knife people. If they say Gerber is good, it's true. Sadly, it really is true. I could go on. I have other stories about that. It's evident stores like Target and Home Depot, they still carry Gerber, but not Leatherman. Yeah. No, absolutely. And in the military, I think it's the 600 series, the Gerber, the one-handed, the one that comes out the center. That 600 series is what they provide the military, and so to this day, in the military, slang for multi-tool is "hand me your Gerber." So Gerber is synonymous with multi-tool, not Leatherman, even though it was Leatherman that invented that style. But it was Gerber that, the government wanted a contract where they wanted, that style of thing, except to be able to be one-handed. And so sure enough, Gerber won that contract with their innovative design. Their gadget stuff is not bad. It's because most Gerbers are only worth the money if you steal them, and Gerber knows that. Yeah, that's why their clam packs are bulletproof. I mean, sad to say, my local Fred Meyer only carries Gerbers and Coast knives. Well, there you go. Gerber is right up there with Coast. Coast is one of those super duper ultra budget. I'll get my hands on one day. Every time I see one for sale, they are sold before I can do anything. Maybe Never Unarmed will make some new ones. Oh, you mean the triple action? So they are still in production? Or you mean on the secondary market? That's why I say most. Every so often they knock one out of the park. You mean Gerber? Every once in a while knocks it out of the park? Okay. Let's see. How long has it been? Oh, good Lord, it's already over an hour and a half. Maybe I should call it. It's been a while already.
O que eu tô fazendo? Nossa, não tô entendendo nada.
O
Tão
quê?
frustrante. Eu não entendo nada. Eu tô com raiva.
Ah, tá. Não, eu só lendo. Fala sobre facas, né? E fala sobre essa marca de Gerber. Conhece essa marca?
Não,
Conhece essa marca? Gerber, não?
Gerber,
Essa
não.
marca é o mais reconhecida marca das facas em América, mas a qualidade não é muito bom. Mas todo mundo
E ela é
pensa,
fabricada?
todo mundo acha. Fala.
Ela é fabricada aí nos Estados Unidos?
A parte, a maioridade é China, mas, por exemplo, isso é América. So, this one is made in Portland, Gerber, the Gerber Gator. And this is something that, they take pride in. I mean, it won, I think it won Knife of the Year in the 90s or something like that. So, and admittedly, the Gator grip is tacky and nice. It's very tacky, the texture is great. The rubber is very tacky. Yeah, I mean, the action is remarkably smooth for a backlog. It is. It's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, this is a decent knife. I've considered making this my EDC when camping because I'm thinking it might be more practical to have a knife in a belt pouch rather than clipped to your pocket. I just can't imagine, like things get snagged, et cetera, et cetera. It's probably a lot more secure when there's like branches brushing up against you constantly to do that and to keep your pockets free. I don't know. I just think it's more accessible in a pouch on your belt rather than in your pocket. So I'm not mad at that knife. Yeah, Gerber has a few good ideas that they even execute well. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's certain things that are awesome. The dime is not half bad. Some people like the dime. What else was I going to say? There's a couple of things that. Oh yeah, the tool tether. I use that thing constantly. I use it for my Olight. So once again, this is something that, how come none of the other, if Gerber sucks so bad, how come none of the other companies do this, which is the this tether thing. So I realize it's nothing more than just like like the janitor's keychain thing, but you can put any kind of number of gear on it, and the clip works really well. And the upgraded version has the lock where you can lock the line out. Fishermen swear by this. They put all their gear on it. And yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I can't be mad at it. Not one bit. I like it a lot. So yeah, I mean, I give it a thumbs up. Like this thing, I friggin' love this thing. I mean, I swear by it, basically. And I need to try to remember all the stuff that Gerber makes that, that I don't know really literally anybody else does. That's, quality stuff that I would not want to live without. That's my hobo knife. Triple action's probably never ever going to be made again. They're absolutely out of production. Yeah, especially because it's a gravity knife too, or essentially a gravity knife. Have you ever seen a grown man cry? Well, I'll send you a selfie. Oh, what with the triple action? I'll let you flip mine around sometime. No need for tears. Where are you guys again? Are you? I can't remember if you guys are in California or not. I forgot. I'm sorry. I have to keep asking. I'm always forgetting. You know, I don't think it's fair to say Gerber sucks. They are a great company that is easily accessible for everyone. Gerber does Gerber really well. That is so well put. You're. I mean, name me one single knife guy here whose first knife wasn't a Gerber. Mine was. Gerber got me into modern pocket knives. My first modern pocket knife was a Gerber. You know, looking back on it, it was shitty as fuck. But yeah, Gerber does Gerber great. And this is what really killed him for knife guys. And I'm sorry, but most of the Bear Grylls stuff I have, it's not half bad. I mean, this knife sharpener, people don't think sucks. Again, this thing is frigging sweet. What else Bear Grylls do I have? I actually wanted to get the Bear Grylls like grandpa's knife or something like that. It's basically their version of a traditional knife, except with GRN and stuff. And people like it, for a cheap price. It's not bad. I know I have other Bear Grylls stuff because I have so many of those little essentials of survival. I'm trying to think, what else do I have of his? Again, for the price. I mean, I got them drastically reduced in price. And I was like, hey, this is not half bad. I think Gerber regrets it. I think Bear Grylls was unfairly targeted by like, oh, well, he stays in a hotel. He never pretended to be doing this stuff for real. I never watched the show. I kind of watched the show, like saw 1 or 2 episodes. I don't think he was pretending. It was purely tutorial. He was like, you can eat these worms. You can eat this. You can do that. He's just showing off his SAS training. He wasn't suggesting that he was Survivor Man or the other types of series. And then they were like, oh, he's just right off the road filming it here. I work in production. That's the way you want to do it. You don't want to trek deep somewhere and film it to be authentic. For what? Again, if that's not what your show is about, your show is tutorial about how you can survive in the wild. I don't think he's saying like, I'm literally only surviving in the wild. And people are like, oh, and then he goes to his hotel. Yeah. Fuck wouldn't you stay in your hotel for? Especially getting paid what you are for your show. Gerber is improving, looks like. They are trying. My knife today is disappointing, but the design is good. Which knife? My knife today is disappointing. Let's see. You mean the Gerber? And what else? I mean, the Strong Arm is one of the most highly regarded budget, survival knives, like that and the SRK. Oh, that's the one other possibility, the Cricket. But yeah, and they invented the M16 was the first flipper knife. So, but Cricket is already one step further in. Like, I think more people still recognize Gerber. I think you're right, Hollywood. I think Gerber is leaning toward regret with the whole BG thing. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, they totally trashed their reputation amongst knife people. And all of the stuff that came. Oh, I know what. There's 2 things I want to get of his that are dead sold out. Can't find it anywhere. Number 1 is his fire making kit. It's basically a grinder where you take wood and you grind it, and there's a little box inside, and you get all the wood shavings. Again, who's making that? Gerber made it. Bear Grylls made it. It sold out. And then the other thing that they came out with was his survival belt. Gerber came out with a survival belt with like a little survival kit in the belt buckle. Those you can't find, and when they show up in the secondary market, are ludicrously overpriced. And those two things I'd love to have, and those things sold out. And sadly, Gerber abandoned it. I mean, not all of the Bear Grylls stuff was junk, you know. Some of it was pretty nifty, especially that wood shaving thing. It was basically like a, a, a tinderbox, I guess. I definitely still have more stuff to unbox. I just don't know if I need to do it right now. Should I do this one? Complete the glow in the dark knife collection. So this is called the Folder 3.5 glow knife. 3.5-inch blade, bead blasted texture handle, glows in the dark, make it easy to locate after nightfall. 2.5 millimeter thick blade, serrated edge, yuck. Black oxide coated blade, liner lock, carabiner clip, exposed glow elements of light source for 2 or more hours of glow. Okay, so they're saying it's at least 2 hours of glow. By the way, these package openers work great for oranges. So you cut a circle around the top, and then you cut little alleyways down, and it'll peel right open. Not just oranges, I mean any.
Já volto, amor. Banheiro.
Tá. Okay, tip protector. And carabiner. That's nasty. Oh, but that's a pretty robust carabiner, actually. I don't know if you can see, they notched it so it actually fits right into the notch, and being doubled, it has less chance of going off. The thing I don't like about carabiners is this thing in the middle usually bends. This is surprisingly decent. Oh, and yeah, they really did. They bead blasted the plastic here, so it does have a texture. This feels identical to Gator Grip. Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's got good texture, and it's got that tacky rubber speed holes. And let's see what the action is like. I slow rolled it. Let's see if it's flickable. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. Oh, and it's only right-handed. Looks like it may or may not be flickable. I'll have to see if it eventually. But the point being is, of course, I got this purely for one reason and one reason only. And it's too not super glowy. I mean, they said 2 hours of glow. Yes. The fire starter, yes. It's a cheese grater looking thing, absolutely. Except that it has a box underneath. The only BG item I own is a ferro rod thing. Yeah, I thought this was it, but I was looking at it now. It's the sharpener. I thought I got his, and again, that ferro rod, the BG ferro rod is not half bad. Sort of bulky, but bulky is not necessarily bad, especially if you're gloved or if you're in a survival situation. You actually want some bulk to it because you lose your fine motor skills, and it might actually help with the fire rod. So again, and it all stays together. It's not half bad, the BG fire starter, and I was certain I had one, and I don't see it now. So if it's still in stock somewhere, if they had old new stock, then maybe I'd still like to. I'd like to pick one up because that's one of my sub collections. Affordable budget ferro rods. Because I stick them in all my little kits. Only have the Gerber shark belly lock back with a half stop and a barely adequate opening hole, but man, is it light for its size. Came with a screaming edge and a wire clip. Shark belly. See, I don't think I'm familiar with the shark belly. What's up? Hey, Michael Morgan. Hey. I think the only Gerber I still own is the Ripstop 2, a half-serrated quasi-frame-like nightmare on nylon washer. I know. I won't even give that POS away. Worst knife ever. I agreed. The Ripstop 2 is a notoriously shit knife. It is an awful, awful knife. The action is rough as all shit. I mean, you can barely open that. However, one of my favorite fidget knives is this thing. I don't remember what it's called. It's just a slow roll. It's got like a quarter stop for some damn reason. I don't know why. I think this isn't the Ripstop 1, is it? Anyway, what I like about it is the fact that the joint is that circular type of thing, which is a different kind of technology. The action isn't that great, but it's also not that terrible. And the reason why this is one of my favorite fidget knives is this. And I do want to do a video on fidget knives and the different variety, like what is fidgety? This is fidgety too. This is like nervous spinner action, because the reason why is they actually did a really good job of machining the inside of that. Look at, I'm fingering the hole. It's very satiny in there. So it's extremely smooth. And the other thing too is I actually like knives where you can stick it in the hole. The grip is so sure, and you can do this when you're working on other stuff. So this is, once again, one of the sub collections that I have, knives with that forward hole, because for this reason, you can work, cut. It's a great way of holding your knife when you don't need it at that very second without having to put it down. So I actually like, again, this is another reason why don't, dismiss Gerber summarily, because again, not nobody, but people aren't necessarily making a knife like this. And for a lot of reasons, like, well, why would you? I get it. But again, a very, very affordable, this kind of knife, which has its purpose too. Let's go to you guys. You saw that you won't pass along the nightmare. Hollywood, my SRM Land 912 arrives tomorrow. What's your opinion on this? Obviously, Saventa inspired line. I don't have one. I've been wanting to get one. Believe it or not, that SRM Land, the 912, and then they have the other more Saventa size ones that are the lower numbers than 912. They used to be only like $12. They've gone up to like 20 some now. From everything I've heard, it's well regarded. Yes, it's definitely Saventa inspired. And yes, probably deliberately so as well. However, those markets don't collide in any kind of way whatsoever, especially for a $12 knife. Everybody loves it. They think it's got excellent quality, excellent value. People love their lands, their SRM land. I like the SRM, their axis lock style knife, and I EDC this sucker all the time. And I want to get their other ones, their axis style locks. The action is pretty good, and the fit and finish is good. And then this has a KME edge on it, and this is the sliciest knife I have. The edge on this thing is just brutal. It slices through stuff like butter. I mean, really, it is nasty. and I need to clean this. It's just covered in gunk and tape and crap. I mean, it's a user, and it's so affordable. SRM, I think, is, they make real steel. SRM makes a lot of people's knives. I for a long time, I suspected that CRKT is made by SRM. I don't know if that's true or not. I just don't know. But yeah, $27. Yeah, so they've more than doubled in price. Yeah, they used to be dirt cheap. For that matter, Schrade has a Sebenza lookalike that's like, again, like $12 or whatever, very cheap. But even they made one, and because the Sebenza, it's a box with a blade. It's a rectangle. I'm not saying they didn't deliberately copy it, but at the same time, anyone can come up with the Sebenza design. It's one of the most simplistic shapes imaginable. And once again, I'm not saying that they didn't deliberately get their inspiration from it, but at the same time, it's not a terribly complex, intricate design, which is part of why, usually elegance, simplicity and elegance are usually very functional. I mean, they're not clones. I don't think I'll be affording a Smith anytime soon. Exactly. The markets do not collide in the slightest. Sandvik. Oh wow, it's got Sandvik steel. That's shocking. Yeah, but it's a beautiful rectangle. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it's just a rectangle. The reason why I mention that is because in mathematics, physics, science, etc., a lot of these scientists and mathematicians will say that oftentimes the more beautiful, simple, and elegant formulations of either a formula or a principle or whatever is usually the correct one. That they find that there's tremendous symmetry in nature, or symmetry in truth. That, I mean, take for example E equals MC squared. That is the quintessential example of this principle, that often the truth, is a simple, elegant thing. For such a complex concept, E equals MC squared, it's just so simple and elegant, but it helps explain a huge amount of phenomenon. I don't know if you guys know about the satellite debacle, but apparently when they first launched GPS, they did it using just regular Newtonian physics, thinking, we don't need to make quantum. Quantum is such a tiny little thing. And apparently all the satellites were just ever so slightly off. And they were like, what the fuck? They're like, okay, fine. Let's adjust for quantum mechanics. And, they applied E equals MC squared, so to speak. And suddenly everything worked perfectly fine. They're like, oops, okay, I guess we really do need to take those minute little calculations into the Laconico. Well, yeah, Laconico is kind of one of my favorite designers, or I would say Ray Laconico was my first favorite designer. Like when I first started recognizing specific, when specific designers started to pop out to me, to become noticed by me, Ray Laconico for me was the first, where it was like, God, his designs, again, they're so elegant and simple but functional. And so that was, Ray Laconico was the first design for me where I would look at a knife just because it was his. Now I like, Lucas Burnley, because he does a lot of the Japanese inspired fixed blades, because I'm like way more into fixed blades now lately, and yeah, this knife is kind of nasty. I'm gonna try to get it to flip. See if the centering's like, you know what? It's centered. And who knows, maybe it'll break in. I sure wish I can't stand it when knife companies put a thumb stud on one side and then just even the K-Bar Dozier does that, and it drives me crazy. I know that these typically can be removed. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's threaded, so you can, reverse that. It's probably not going to be flickable either. I mean, they did some things right. Look how much the liner protrudes, so it's very easy to access, and doesn't form a hotspot at all. I don't think. Not really, surprisingly, even though it does jut out a lot. They've got good jimping here, good jimping there. Obviously it's partially serrated, we don't like. But UST, for their affordable designs, they don't do a half bad job. Pretty much, I like most everything I've gotten of theirs, and for whatever reason, I have a shit ton of their stuff. I have, their silicone. I have almost a complete kitchenware set of just their silicone stuff now. I have just a lot of their survival gear. I have a whole bunch of their stuff. I wonder what that rattle is. Oh, I can see there's Teflon washers. So those might actually break in. Especially once I lubricate it, maybe it will flick. And not every knife needs to be flickable. They may have wanted this to not be flickable. They might want this just to be a slow roll knife, because this is not a knife guy's knife. This is a camper's knife. Somebody buys a knife for camping and that's it. They might want this to be slow rolled for safety reasons, etc. I guess 119 or 111, 111.19. And I mean, obviously, it's not meant to be a knife guy's knife because it's not a pocket clip; it's a carabiner. So you stick that on your backpack. Again, this will be, this will probably go in maybe like a go bag or something. Again, being glow in the dark has its purposes, doesn't it? That Laconical Artisan Sirius looks nice at $70. Wow. The Sirius? I need to look at that. I don't think I've looked at that one yet. I mean, everything Artisan does is, I don't know. I haven't looked at everything, but everything I've looked at that Artisan does is great. I mean, Artisan is fantastic. I love QSP. I love their fixed blades. The Penguin and the Parrot are unparalleled for value. Guys, the new version of the Parrot is only $26. It's got micarta and D2. I mean, come on. I thought micarta and D2 for $34 for the Penguin was unbelievable. Now they've come out with the Parrot for even cheaper. And I like the Parrot blade shape better as well. It's just that typical drop point. It may need to be cleaned out, Hollywood. Those usually have a bunch of grit in there. It's like they put sand in the grease at the factory. You know what it is, dude? I work in clothing manufacturing. Well, you guys probably know about manufacturing facilities too. Manufacturing facilities are fucking disgusting. I mean, it is just fucking dirt city. So, just the fact of manufacturing, there's fucking dirt everywhere. So do you think I should blow it out, like with one of those air blowers, or spray it out, like with, even WD-40? I mean, obviously I have tons of nano oil too. I don't want to overdo it with the nano oil. Also, I don't want to lubricate it before it breaks in, because then it'll take longer to break in. I mean, the action's relatively smooth. Again, it is Teflon, so it can't be that rough. But yeah, I've been wondering which machete you're using as a salad knife in the kitchen. You have an assortment of veggie slicers over a foot long to choose from. So have you guys seen this one? This was the last unboxing I did, yesterday?
A classic.
Kyra brush sword. And I was wondering, why is he calling it a sword? So it turns out this guy, Joshua Wagoner, he really did mean this to be a sword. He really didn't mean it to make it a machete. And that was Schrade's thing. They kind of were a little bit, more along like, well, machetes are easier to market and it seems less, I don't want to say it's a weapon, but he really kind of meant this to be kind of more of a weapon, which is why, can you see it's the thick spine here and then a full-on swedge, and then right over the belly, you go back to the full stock and then swedge again. So, or rather tapered out. But can you see the swedge? It's like a reverse swedge, if you will. It's on the back part, and it's to lighten it right over the recurve, and it's to lighten the blade. And this is very light for its size, and that was the idea. He wanted it to be more. So let's see. The scale says it is 21 ounces. So that's not bad. A pound and a half. It's very light, light on its feet. What do you call that? It's very swift, deft. What do you call that? What do you call that when something is light in hand? It's anyway. So apparently he meant it to be both light brush clearing and tactical swords type stuff. And I need to find that paper. I don't know why I can't get it to cut. I just cannot get it to cut. Yeah, I really can't get it to cut. I can't get it to cut at all. It does feel like it's got an edge. I don't know why. I'll have to give it another shot some other time. But if you guys remember, the worst thing is this thing does not fit in those slots. And I realized when they first made them, that thickness was thinner and it did slide around in there. But at any rate, now it doesn't. So I do have this thing here from my O-Light. So maybe give this a shot. See if this thing from my O-Light might work better. So I bought several of these. This is from that company Tech, TEC. And so what I was saying earlier about these carabiners is I don't like it when those things bend out and they slip out the other side. But let's see if this will. See, this will sort of slide in and out, but once again, only that part will. So that might not be a solution either. Yeah, I think I'm kind of stuck. Oh well. I haven't really. So at one point, I just put a what do you call these things? Split ring. I put a split ring for now, but I doubt that'll be any good because eventually the split ring is gonna stretch out, and I don't think it gives you the full flexibility that channel is meant to give you. So I'm not sure what the best way of fixing this is. The other thing is I could file this down so that it's more slender, so it could ride in that channel. But yeah, the rattle, it's not great, but it's definitely a zombie sword, and it definitely fits in my collection. It's definitely along those lines. Oh, Michael, you got the TI Penguin with the I think it's S35 and titanium. Nimble, thank you. Good Lord Almighty. The Shrade Priscilla is my favorite zombie apocalypse too. Yeah, this is the Priscilla, by the way.
O nome disso é Priscila?
Hey, Priscilla. Sim.
Oxi.
So I found out he called it the Priscilla because he knew that Shrade was going to make it different than the way he wanted. So he made the Priscilla so that if you go to him directly, this guy, Joshua Wagoner, you can email him, and he custom makes this same thing, except he calls it the Teresa. So that's how he could distinguish it. He didn't want Trade to come up with some kind of shitty, awful name that I guess they did to one of his design. They gave it some weird name. And, you know, it's got this very neutral style grip. And again, this grip apparently is telltale of its functionality. So on the one hand, it's got this swell down here. So you can, in fact, hack light brush, but they didn't put a swell in the middle so that it's more nimble. Thank you, Michael. Nimble. Ground for chopping? It's basically a flat grind, more or less, and it might be slightly. I mean, the micro bevel looks definitely concave, so it would definitely be for chopping. I don't know. My axe slices paper just fine. Then again, it's mine, and I sharpen everything myself. Well, that's what it is. I mean, it feels sharp. I don't know why I can't cut any paper with it. Yeah. Do you, when you get the convex on your axe, do you use the hockey puck circular stone and go like that? Do you use a metal file? What do you use to get your convex grind on your axe? Not really, but it still gets the job done. It's a pretty high grind, so it sinks in deep. You're talking about this, the Priscilla?
Amor,
Fala.
vamos.
Cansada?
Não, eu acho que eu tô com dor de cabeça.
Você tem dor da cabeça de novo?
Sim. Acho que eu tô de TPM.
Nossa, como sempre, né?
Ai, amor, tô o cão.
Ah, eu? Que bom, sou cão.
Eu, amor, eu. Você vai ter que me aguentar.
Você é cão?
Eu tô com vontade de chorar aqui. Tá me dando vontade de chorar.
Agora você vai chorar de novo?
Não, tá me dando vontade de chorar agora.
Nossa! Máquina de chorando, máquina de lágrimas, máquina de lágrimas. Bernardo é máquina de sonhos, você é máquina de lágrimas, né?
E você é máquina de estresse.
É, que bom.
De nervoso. Sou nervoso. Me deixe-me em paz.
Sim.
Inimiga.
Inimiga da minha vida.
Oh. Eu quero ver filme. Eu quero ver Batman.
Oh, wow. You know what? I just noticed, guys, on this, do you see those gears there? This is what SOG does on their multi-tools, is they have these gear multipliers so that it multiplies the strength. Speaking of technology and that we were talking about, it's after one. Okay, yeah. I think we're going to end it too soon, very soon. It may be a bird you're feeling, Hollywood. No, sir. I use a sapphire reaper stone. Good Lord, for my axe. It's a long stone with rounded ends for farm tools. Okay, I'm going to have to look it up because I've never heard of that. So it's not like a ceramic rod then? Good night.
Good night.
Sapphire. Okay, just so you can see, it goes past center. I don't know if that's good or not. But at any rate, these gears multiply the strength of the cutting motion, or in the case of their pliers, that. So, oh, there it is. Damn lanyard thing. It's gonna fuck things up. Okay. Oh wow. A toothpick. Ha! A toothpick bottle opener. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be a mini something? And a file, nail file, a blade, tweezers. Oh gosh, and another flathead. That's pretty cool. Actually, that's not bad. I can't believe they have a toothpick. That's hilarious. Wow, this is definitely meant for more, definitely urban office style EDC. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that, I'll be honest. I kind of like that. It does not fit in the Gerber Dime Kydex. Let's see. No, definitely does not. So looks like I'm going to stick with the Gerber Dime on the Kydex thing. But I got to say, so far, I think it's going to beat out the Gerber Splice. I strongly suspect it's going to beat it out. And this will be my last thing, and then I'll call it. It's gone over 2 hours already. Try to keep it shorter than that. Okay, so this feels rougher, but it feels pretty slicey. It goes past center as well. That is really sharp. The ends are very sharp, so it doesn't feel terribly comfortable. Decent spring, tension, and let's see. That's kind of cool the way it comes together there. Don't know why it needs to do that. So you've got some sort of a, that's almost like a modified Tanto. And a fully serrated and a something. Yeah, I can't get that to come out. Okay. Then we've got,
Uma tesoura? É isso do lado.
This is, I guess, meant to be both a flathead, but also like a little bit of a pry tool. That's kind of interesting, but it comes out in this double way for the bottle opener. Then we've got a file plus a 2D Phillips. A very sharp, small flathead, and I think that might be it. Yeah, let me see. Medium flathead driver, bottle opener. Yeah, see this, they're calling this a medium flathead driver, but I'm telling you, it's so thin, it's kind of like a pry. Phillips head driver, file, small flathead driver, fine edge blade, serrated, lanyard hold scissors. Okay, yeah, that's it. So I kind of like this as a pry tool, like a mini pry tool. It's kind of cool. And the fact that it actually does have a Phillips, that kind of makes a difference. So definitely the comparison between this and this. Oh yeah, also the SOG is considerably thinner, but it's got just these slick stainless steel. Oh, it's also got ruler, both metric and standard. This doesn't have anything like that, and it's got this aluminum scales on the outside. So it's 2.25 ounces and 1.6. So yeah, this is significantly heavier, and it definitely feels like it as well. They list it here. It does not list the weight here at all on the Gerber, but the SOG says it is 1.7 ounces, and I have 1.6. So, yeah, so it's about right. And I'm running out of batteries. How do you turn this on? Turn off on its own. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so for your scissor options, definitely both affordable.
Aqui.
Okay, good night. I think that is it. Let's see. I love force multipliers, right? My paws have a touch of Arthur in them now. Not sure what that means. Have a touch of Arthur in them, like King Arthur. I'm not sure what that means. Your paws, as in, but yeah, I like those. But more so, I think probably for pliers. I am liking that song. Is that for locks, Hollywood? That's great. Is that for locks? I don't understand what you mean by locks. The spring on these is not super great. The spring on these, and that's one of the things I like about Gerber multi-tools, is the springs are quite lively. You know, the spring on the dime, it's very lively. I like it. It's very springy, you know, like its action is quite nice. So I'm not mad at Gerber multi-tools necessarily. I don't think they're the worst, but I also don't have any nice Leathermans or anything like that. They're pricey. I'm not saying they're not worth it. It's just when I can get a Gerber on sale for dirt, you know, I'll just do that. You know, I don't hard use the hell out of my multi-tools anyway. You know, I use an actual wrench when I need to do that. Arthritis. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. For arthritis, makes a big difference. Oh, I didn't know Arthur was a word for arthritis. There's a pick on the SOG tool. Looks like maybe for desk locks. No. Oh, you mean you mean this plastic thing? That's definitely a toothpick. Are you talking about this? They're calling this a small flathead. You can't pick a lock with that. It needs to be a lot longer. Yeah, no, you can't pick any locks with this because that's not the right shape. It'd have to be a, even longer than that to be a proper pick for a lock. Yeah, no, these are not long enough to contain any decent lock picking tools. You need more length than that. Okay, I had never heard this before. My paws have touch of the Arthur in them now. I never heard the Arthur. It's a way of saying arthritis. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And
Hoje você queria ficar até tarde, né? Ontem, quando eu queria ficar, você não queria ficar. Hoje a gente foi 2 horas de live. Ontem, quando eu queria ficar mais, você não queria ficar.
Ah, sim. Mas eu não queria fazer muito longe como assim, mas eu tinha montes de coisas para aberta, né?
Sim, mas eu gosto de live longa. Mas só que hoje eu só tô com dor de cabeça.
Sim, tipicamente eu quero só 1 hora, né? Máximo 1 hora.
Não, eu quero 2. Quero 2, 3, 4, 5.
Não, para. Ok. Fala tchau.
Bye, bye.
Boa noite.
Boa noite, meu povo. Beijo do gordo. O gordo do Charles, que eu sou magra.
Cruel.
Não, amor, eu tô brincando,
Buenas
vida.
noches. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
Bye bye.
It's always fun. Thanks. I'm glad you like the unboxings and the chit chat. All right. Good night, everybody. End broadcast. Let's see. Good night. Yep. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like for me, please. Thanks.